Hey everybody, welcome to the presentation. I'm Trevor and we are doing more eBay today. We're actually going to talk about this retail dropshipping strategy and answer a question that I get quite a bit from most of my clients at some point or another. And if you're here live with me, you may have asked this question before, but I get the question about who should I use as my supplier while I'm doing the retail dropshipping. Especially from a lot of you guys who aren't a big fan of doing Walmart products. And I have a lot of you guys that don't necessarily like Walmart for different reasons, right? Some of you guys don't like Walmart because Walmart's notorious for not giving you an option to ship an item out as a gift. So the invoice, whatever you paid for the product, which is of course less than what your customer paid you, a lot of times that invoice gets sent in the Walmart packaging. So that's a big drawback of Walmart. Some of you guys, just for your own political and personal reasons, don't like to use Walmart. Whatever the case may be, you got to remember that although we use Walmart in a lot of our discussions, it's not that you have to use it. It's just an easy one to start with. And specifically, guys, it's easy because their prices are traditionally pretty darn low. Lower than most places online, lower than Amazon. You know, even though Amazon's as popular as it is, Walmart's traditionally lower. So that's why we like to start with them. And, you know, even with the fact that they send out the invoice and the price that you paid for the item, still it doesn't happen all that often that you get somebody who's overly concerned about it, but it does happen. So for those reasons and for others, I know a lot of you guys aren't a big fan of using Walmart, and so I get the question, well, who else can I use? Who else offers gift shipping options? Well, and let me answer that just generally first, just to say that virtually everybody online offers those gift shipping options. It's very rare where that isn't an option, okay? The vast majority of the time on Amazon, although there are the rare occasions on Amazon where it's not an option, but the vast majority of the cases you can do it on Amazon, so that's a good option. And then I wanted to list some of our preferred suppliers, especially for you guys that are just starting out. These are great. I often just suggest you use some of the big box stores while you're learning this process, and then you can branch out into other suppliers after that. You can start finding some wholesale drop shipping companies. You can find more boutique style companies that you could use to do this retail drop shipping. Start with the big box ones because they're easiest. And we can teach you off of that probably better than anything. And I got to admit, I've got clients that have done this for years who still swear by using some of these big box stores. Okay? So before we talk about each of these real quick, I want to mention to you as well, this is another question, and maybe you've thought of this before, I don't know, but I've gotten this question that's come up a little bit. My clients will say to me, well, wait a minute, if you're teaching everybody who comes into the program about Walmart and Overstock and Target and Wayfair and Sears, like how is it that we can all be making money? Because essentially it's almost like everybody who comes into our program becomes a potential competitor to you, right? So, you know, if we're teaching everybody to start out on Walmart and some of these other ones, it's almost like we're making it more difficult for you guys who are already doing this to succeed. And while I see your point, and in theory, I suppose that's true to an extent, you got to remember that Walmart has thousands upon thousands upon thousands of items, right? So does Overstock, tens of thousands of individual SKUs. And the market on eBay is just, it's huge, right? The stat that I always share with you guys is, you know, in 2014, just after the holiday selling season, the big statistic is that eBay was 1 out of every 5 people or adults in America, adult shoppers in America, bought some, if not all of their holiday shopping for 2014 off of eBay. So 20% of adults did their shopping on eBay. That's a huge, huge number. I mean, that's millions upon millions upon millions of people. The other stat that I thought was interesting is eBay says every, and I can't remember this exactly, so don't quote me on it, but it's somewhere close. it's like every 8 seconds or something on eBay a piece of furniture sells. Right? Like, can you imagine how much furniture is actually being sold on eBay right now? And that's just in the furniture market. I mean, products are selling all the time. So the point is just the market is just so big that even if you, me, and everybody else that comes into this program is executing this strategy, we can all make money doing it. And we do. So, you know, while I see your point on that, it's not really as valid because of the sheer size of the market. Now, so let's look at these big box stores real quick. Now, I'm curious, for those of you guys who are here with me live, is this how most of you guys started and are doing it right now? Are you using some of the big box stores? I'm not going to ask you to share any of your retailers that, you know, are more specific to you. In fact, a lot of my clients have a handful of retailers that they've found over time that aren't necessarily your household name retailers. They're companies that they found through Google, and they're using them, and there's not as much competition, right? A lot of you guys I know start out on Walmart, so I get that. A lot of you guys are using Amazon. For sure. Look through some of these, though. Here's number one at the top. We put Overstock. So just so you guys know, you can do gift shipping with Overstock for sure. And at checkout, the way you do it is there should be a little gift shipping option there at checkout. You can select that, and then Overstock will make sure that the invoice isn't sent out. Okay. Number two right here is Target. All orders from Target don't come with pricing information anyway, so you're set. That's never going to be a concern with Target items. Unless, of course, I guess there's always the outside chance if an item comes from your retail store in a Target branded box, I suppose somebody, if they were ambitious enough, could hop onto Target.com and try to see what it's going for, but that's very rare. That happens almost never. So keep that in mind. Number three, Wayfair. How many of you guys are familiar with Wayfair? Sometimes you see commercials for them on TV. They're pretty popular. Go check them out. If not, Wayfair.com. They're priced on the higher side because a lot of their products are a little bit nicer. But it says, if you look at number three, it says at checkout you can specify that all orders are a gift. However, they don't include any pricing in the packaging either way. So either way through Wayfair, they're not going to be able to see the cost. So that's good. Number four, Sears. The commentary here is during spring, this is one of our favorite suppliers. However, if you're concerned about receipts, just know that there are certain products that will not ship as a gift from Sears. That's a little like Walmart. So for some reason or another, not every single product that goes out from Sears has the gift ship option available. Most will, but some won't. So before you're posting an item there, you can add it to your cart, and you can get to the shipping page to see if it's an option or not. And that's what you have to do with some retailers. Add the item to your cart and then check to see, as if you're checking out, if you can ship it out as a gift. If you can't, then maybe it's not one you want to use. I still teach that you can do it. That's why we teach Walmart. You can still do invoices in the packaging. It's just you run the small risk of having somebody be frustrated, right? But Sears is a good one, especially in the spring, because they're really good with lawn, garden, outdoor, patio furniture. And especially as it gets later in the spring, you're going to start seeing heavily discounted patio sets. We're talking, 50% off kind of thing. And if you'll watch it really closely, you can list those and turn around and make a pretty solid profit that way. Macy's.com is an option. 2014's #1 department store is what they sort of tout right now. Gift shipping is an option. All orders are qualify for that. And then Kohl's.com is another one that works real well. Kohl's pricing is pretty cheap generally, and you can do gift shipping on all orders. So that's one that you can use. But again, as I survey all of my clients, I mean, if I polled all of you guys right now, I would get a lot of you guys that would mention some of these big name stores, but there's a percentage of you guys, especially you guys that are making really good money using this retail strategy, that have your own sort of underground set of suppliers that you use. Retail companies that just aren't these big box stores. And you'll notice that I don't share and give you names for those types of companies generally, because if I'm working with one of my clients and they have a great supplier they're using, I'm not going to go share that with everybody. I mean, that's not fair, right? I want you to feel like you can trust the coaches here, and if you have a great supplier and a great product that's selling, I'm not going to go tell the world to go sell that product. That's why we use these general stores. But as you get better at this strategy, one thing that you need to consider is going out into Google and actually looking for more specific type companies. Okay, we'll do an example of that here in just a second. Joy, you say you're struggling a little bit, having a hard time selling, wondering what you're doing wrong. Give me some statistics, Joy. How many products do you have listed? What types of products are you listing? You may want to email me about that a little bit later, and you know, we can always take a look at it. But give me some statistics here during the call, and we can look it over. Angela, you say my strategy right now is Target. I use my Red Card credit card to get 5% off and free shipping, which is a great idea if you're using Target. Absolutely. So you're getting 5% off additional to every single product you order, which is awesome, which can be significant depending on what you're selling, right? 5% can mean a lot. So I can pass the free shipping on to my buyers and then make a little bit more money on the sales. And I choose to sell only items that are available only online, which makes them harder to get anywhere else. That's a good idea too. So online only, you guys will see that occasionally at some of these retailers. It'll say only available online, not available in stores, and it gives you a little bit of a better shot to sell it for sure. So that's good feedback. I mean, you're getting free shipping on everything and 5% off. That's big. Now, most of these, and I'm glad you brought that up, Angela, because that brings up a really, really good point. Most of these stores have some sort of a rewards program or a cashback program, or in this case, a discount program. You can get a card with Overstock or, you know, with Sears or whomever, and you can qualify for some pretty heavy discounts. And that's going to help you substantially in your retail strategy. So if you find yourself doing a lot of work through Sears, through Target, like Angela does, use those cards to your benefit. You'll save a lot. I mean, I had a client years ago who used to do, on average, probably a couple grand a month in sales volume just out of Sears, right? Just $2 grand a month in sales volume. Now, if he's using a card to get some sort of a discount, if it's like Target where you're getting 5%, I can't remember what Sears' card is like, but on $2,000, you're saving 5%. That'd be $100 back. That would really be pure profit going back to you. So it's definitely something you want to consider. Really, really good point. Okay. So let's look over, here's the example I wanted to use. With it being mid-July right now, and we're going to finish up with this example, but it's mid-July. We ought to be thinking towards the back-to-school selling season right now, and we ought to be thinking about Halloween. Now, I know you probably think I'm crazy mentioning Halloween. Halloween is at the end of October. We're at the end of July, right? So August, September, it's not that far away, 2 or 3 months from now. But really, a lot of the hardcore Halloween people, especially the ones that are buying Halloween decor, are going to be buying that late September, early October. So we ought to start preparing for that. So, you won't find a lot of Halloween stuff yet with these major retailers, but you could go out onto Google and start looking up Halloween decor. And that's why a lot of you guys have seen in some of my other presentations, I talk about the company called Grandin Road, right? You guys heard about that one before? I'll look it up for you real quick. It's grandinroad.com, this one right here. These guys are renowned for their Halloween decor. So there was one year when I was doing just doing major big box stores doing Halloween stuff, and I was finding that eBay was getting flooded with it, and I was thinking, what can I do to get an edge? So I went out to Google and I just did a Google search for Halloween decor, and I found Grandin Road among other more specific, and I'm not sharing it because these are my suppliers, right? But I'm encouraging you to do the same. I found more specific Halloween-specific retailers that I then took their products and took them to eBay, did the retail strategy with it, and was able to make money because my items were more unique on eBay. So I share all of this with you guys, and I hope this is your big takeaway. I want you guys using big box stores to start to get the hang of it. And then after that, I want you to start looking around for more specific companies like this. I call them underground retailers, non-household name retailers that you can take to eBay, have more of a unique product offering, and therefore see a better result in your sales. So if your sales are struggling at all, and of course you've mentioned that your sales are struggling just a little bit, Michelle, and you know, Joy, you mentioned it as well. If sales are struggling, this might be a really good strategy to incorporate for you guys at this point. Okay, and otherwise, go to your coach, talk to your coach about it if things aren't getting any better, and we'll see. You know, we'll see how we can help you out in the meantime. Okay. All right. So let's finish up the webinar. For those of you guys who have been here live with me, thank you. If you're watching this recorded, thanks for seeing it recorded. Hopefully, this has been helpful for you to optimize and improve your retail drop shipping that you're doing on eBay. Thanks again.